Hi, I'm Laura Hoy for Benzinga, and here's a look at what you can expect from the markets today, Wednesday, September 18th. The Federal Reserve meeting comes to a close today. However, economists warn that it could be the U.S. debt ceiling and not the Federal Reserve taper that disrupts markets. Investors have been anticipating that the bank will cut its massive stimulus program for months, all while the debt ceiling has been creeping up quietly in the background. It could create a huge problem for markets if legislators don't pass new legislation in the next couple of weeks. Cyprus announced that it will lift the country's capital controls in January of 2014, nearly a year after they were implemented. Cyprus was the first Eurozone nation to use capital controls in order to keep its financial system from collapsing. Apple has been under fire recently for its high prices despite decreasing sales growth. Unlike competitors, Apple has refused to pass the falling cost of flash memory chips onto consumers. The company's stock has fallen 8% since it announced the new low-cost iPhone 5C, which many think is still priced too high. Despite mounting evidence that the Syrian government was behind the August 21st chemical weapons attacks, Russia is backing the government's claim that rebel forces are to blame. Russia's stance has raised questions as to whether or not the country is serious about destroying Syria's chemical weapons stockpiles. Many believe that if Russia doesn't help enforce the UN's disarmament plan, the US could resort to using military force. Asian markets were mixed ahead of the outcome of the Federal Reserve meeting. The Japanese Nikkei was up 1.35%, and China's Shanghai Composite was up 0.29%. The Shenzhen Composite was up 0.49%, but the South Korean Kospi lost 0.39% and the Hang Seng Index was down 0.25%. European markets were quiet on Wednesday morning. The UK's FTSE was flat and the Stoxx 600 was up 0.13%. The German DAX gained 0.16% and the Spanish IBEX and Italy's MIB both gained 0.35%. In commodity markets, Brent futures were up 0.13%, and WTI futures were up 1.02%. Precious metals were down, gold lost 0.21%, and silver was down 0.06%. Industrial metals fared better with copper up 0.54% and tin down 0.31%. In currency markets, the euro to dollar ratio was flat, but the pound gained 0.16% against the greenback. The yen rose 0.23% and the rupee gained 0.37% against the dollar. AT&T gained 0.95% in pre-market trade as the company expanded its wireless non-contract plans across the US. Consolidated Edison has been climbing since Friday and gained 0.65% in pre-market trade. Kellogg gained 0.23% in pre-market trade after the company was named one of the top companies for working mothers by Working Mother magazine. Walt Disney lost 0.12% in pre-market trade after the company announced that it was planning to repurchase between 6 and 8 billion shares in fiscal year 2014. Earning releases on Wednesday include Oracle, FedEx, and General Mills. On Wednesday's economic calendar, the FOMC statement and rate decision will dominate markets. However, also notable will be U.S. building permits and housing starts, the Bank of England's MCP meeting minutes, and the Japanese trade balance. And that's it for today's Market Primer. I'm Laura Hoy for Benzinga, wishing all of you good luck on your midweek trades.